Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the azure seas of Nita. I am the Heizmeister, and this is another construction episode, as you might have guessed from the title. I'm here on board the Procyon adaptive drone carrier, which is now finally complete. And when I say complete, that means that by the time you are watching this episode, the Procyon adaptive drone carrier will have been released on the workshop for you to try out. Naturally, with all the drones I added to it. You are of course free to choose your own drones for this one. You may have to adjust the spawning positions though. Anyway, why are we here? Well, you've probably seen it in the title already, but let me give you a bit of an explanation. After I've constructed this drone carrier, I thought to myself that I would like to construct something else. Normally, according to the poll, the amphibious assault ship would be next, but I thought to myself that I would like to construct something simple for a change. Something smaller, simpler, without any complicated systems. And yeah, since I'm a huge fan of the Onyx watch, you know, them being my second favorite faction, I thought to myself, why not construct a small Onyx watch fan build, if you want to call it that. So, I have already given it some thought as to what kind of vessel I would like to construct. I would like to construct a reasonably sized Onyx watch ship that should be placed in the medium difficulty segment here on Nita. And of course, since we are constructing a ship for the Onyx watch, I will of course outfit it with these medium-sized Onyx watch turrets that contain large missile launchers as well as vertical missile launch tubes. Nah, just kidding. I will use APS and cram cannons. Come on, who do you think I am? Yeah, so what kind of ship will this be? Well, it's going to be a dedicated anti-aircraft ship. As you might know, the Onyx watch has only a few of those. Now, some of the most notable ships in the Onyx watch lineup that are focused on anti-air duties include, of course, the Glaive, with its rather unusual and unorthodox setup of vertically facing lasers, and the Halberd, an easy design that has these two fragmentation cannons on each side of the vessel, in addition to one of these iconic Onyx watch ballistas. I will take note from these design points and design attributes from those vessels, and I will try to incorporate them into the vessel I'm going to build, but also give it a little bit of a personal touch. And of course, who could forget the Pal Stave? Wait. What do you mean you don't know the Pal Stave? Everyone knows the Pal Stave. Seriously. This one has these three Onyx watch anti-aircraft turrets, these APS cannons. They are a little bit better than the one you find on the Halberd. And of course they are significantly better than these ballistas. Seriously. Doesn't know the Pal Stave. Okay, before we will assemble the hull of these ships, I've decided to take some time to get to know these weapon systems that we are going to install on them. Mostly, of course, focused on anti-aircraft duties and maybe some cram cannons here and there. This shouldn't be the primary focus of this ship. I'm thinking of a few medium-range cram mortars. Well, granted, cram mortars can't exactly hit every target. They are limited to very slow and very non-erratic targets. But then again, this would fit nicely with this kind of ship, having a heavy anti-aircraft focus and maybe engaging one or two very slow targets. So, I was talking about giving this ship a personal touch at the start of this video, and do you guys remember the little castle I built? The Castellum? Well, this one has a grand ballista on top, and I do indeed plan to incorporate this armament into the design of this new vessel. Well, I have to, of course, put a disclaimer here. This ballista is not exactly a very strong or very capable weapon, unless you count one-shotting flying squirrels as very strong. And this is mostly for aesthetic purposes. Because, you know, I'd like to have a little bit of fun with it. So, this is the Castellum with its grand ballista. And I've also incorporated another version of this ballista into something I call a Skywatcher, a little Onyx Watch defensive structure derived from the Furnace gathering platform. Yeah, this is a smaller version. It has the same gauge, a smaller shell. It basically trades the firepower of this grand ballista on the Castellum for a faster and less powerful shell. So, let's do a little bit of study of these AA weapons that the Onyx Watch already has. Here we have a random assortment of AA weapons that I could find on Onyx Watch vessels. These here are taken from a stronghold, fairly decent cannons. Let me turn the UI on. 225mm, a decent fire rate, but I would like to modify these a bit so that they get stronger for the specific purpose of installing them into this new vessel. And also, let's not forget these little ballistas. While they are a bit of a meme, to be honest, with these exposed autoloaders here, especially if you load them with frag shells, they just turn into cluster bombs. I will install them as well. And this is another version of the previously mentioned AA cannon. This is the one that is mounted on the PAL stave. I'll see if I can modify this one. Maybe with a higher rate of fire and a higher projectile velocity. This should be in the medium segment of AA cannons for this ship. And then, of course, let's not forget these two versions of the Grand Ballista. Which one I'm going to use, be it the emphasis on firepower or emphasis on shell velocity, I have yet to decide. So, let's modify these weapons a bit and see what kind of firepower we can get out of these. And I'm back. I have refitted this gun. Let me just give it the proper... There we go. I have refitted this heavy AA gun from the Onyx Watch. I have increased the rate of fire quite significantly. And in doing so, or while doing so, I have committed many sins. This Tetris is not the best, to put it lightly. I have committed so many sins against APS Tetrits, on the same level as the sin of putting your laser components in turrets. Yeah, but it works. It does work. It is reasonably compact. By the way, I should probably mention that these autoloaders, of course, do not have ejectors attached to them, and they are indeed packed full of fragmentation shells. This is going to be fun when they blow up. Alright, let's test these things, shall we? So, this is the previous rate of fire of the original Onyx Watch gun. As you probably know it from the Stronghold, the Javelin, and so many other units. And this is what I have created for my dedicated anti-aircraft ship. I have essentially more than doubled the rate of fire. And of course the turret is a little bit more expensive as well. Shell speed, however, remains the same. So, one gun down. One more to go. This little ballista here, while it certainly can be improved, I'm not going to do anything about it. There is actually not much room for improvement, to be fair. There we have it. 4, well, max gauge cram mortars armed with kinetic fragment packaging or payload. They are not excellent by any stretch of the imagination. They have a little bit of 3D Tetris, and 4 of those should be enough for this little anti-aircraft ship. I've set them up so that they only engage slow and small, snow and low targets. Yeah, it's getting late. And this should be alright. Cram mortars. Hooray. Okay then, all weapon systems are assembled. It is time to start constructing the hull of this ship. This is basically all I need for now. So, and there we are back again. Quite a bit of time has passed, and I have laid down just more than the rough shape of the hull of this wonderful anti-aircraft vessel for the Onyx watch. So, let's go over a few details. I've already placed a few turrets here and there, just to see how much space there is in the internals and how I can shift around the turret layout to make it a little bit more flexible in terms of fields of fire, that is. Right then, here in front we have these heavy anti-aircraft cannons flanked on the side by those, well, let's call them medium ones. Here on the top there is a very unfortunate heavy anti-aircraft cannon wedged in there. I still need to extend the turret neck just a little bit, and this will then poke out here. This place is where the bridge is going to be, although it will be an open-topped bridge. The captain of this vessel will enjoy quite a bit of salty sea air, that is, because this will be open-topped, and on this round platform here, this is where the Grand Ballista will be placed. Of course, overseeing all the other turrets and being able to have an excellent field of fire. Right then, this free space back here is where the mortars will be placed. 4 mortars firing a synchronized salvo of 4 shells before entering the reload cycle. And to the side here, this is a little bit more space for these lower caliber anti-aircraft guns. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot. These Onyx Watch ballistas will be placed on a kind of a gatehouse that I built here on the ship to either side. One is there and one already has a pedestal placed for it here. So cram mortars here. There will not be any kind of anti-air gun in this area, probably. I'll see if I can make it work regardless, but it's going to be a little bit tight. However, there will be one here if I can fit it. This is going to be problematic because there isn't a lot of space left. Let me just get a sub-object. I need... what do I call this? The Bulwark AA gun number 2. Yeah, as you can see, the space is just not sufficient here. Maybe I just have to shorten this end a little bit and give it a little bit more space here on the deck to be able to mount one of these anti-aircraft guns. They do need a lot of space to turn. Not that much space. Okay. Just a tiny bit to turn and basically have free range of movement here. Now, yeah, I'll do this later. Then let's see if I can put anything on in this area. The ship is currently sitting at a little bit over 200,000 materials. as I said, this is going to be a medium design, so it won't have any lamps, or I don't think I'm going to install any shields. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting process. Now let me just see if I can fit a gun in here without making it look too bad, that is. Okay, so I don't know what to say. You see, this Grand Ballista was a little bit too oversized for this ship. It would have just looked extremely silly, and although it pains me greatly, I'm sorry, but I have to scrap the idea of mounting this Grand Ballista on this particular ship. Yeah, it will remain on the Castellum, for now. It might look, you know what, it even looks oversized on the Castellum. However, there is still hope, because just because I'm not going to install it on this ship doesn't mean I'm not going to install it on any ship at all. So I will make amends for this, and I will construct a second ship that does carry this Grand Ballista. Actually, it's going to be some kind of monitor style ship that that only carries this ballista. A very silly looking ship this will be. However, for now I have opted to place a regular Onyx watch cannon turret on there. This one is also timed fused, so there I have my anti-aircraft solution. Right then, I need to get back to the task at hand, that is finishing up this hull here and installing the mortars, the remaining guns, and then we'll see how we proceed from there. Well then, I guess this is it. I have finished the construction of this vessel, the Onyx Watch fan build. Now, I have a few things to say about this. First things first, this thing is a powder keg. As you might imagine, with so many fragmentation and flak guns around there. Yeah, when it blows up quite nicely. And this is actually why I have to address a second point here. In my testing so far, I have seen that it struggles to effectively destroy any larger opponents, larger airships, or even larger regular ships. And to be fair, with flak and frag, this is quite difficult. So, as much as it pains me to say this, but I had to make some compromises. These large caliber APS guns are now loaded with HESH projectiles instead of flak frag, which also decreases the tendency for secondary explosions quite a bit. To be fair, when they were loaded with flak and frag, they weren't exactly chain reacting, all these turrets here. We could blow one up and the others would be just fine, but there wasn't much left to basically cause the other turrets to chain react as well. So I had to make some compromises, and yeah, it works now. Then we have a decoy launcher here in the back, near the funnel, and the 4 mortars. These fire a salvo of, well, 4 shells in 1-second intervals, and then they go through a reload cycle. These are actually quite effective, armor-piercing fragmentation mortars. Now then, with these small caliber flak guns, I have chosen to add an additional flak warhead and also give them the ability to target incoming missiles and cram shells, since, aside from the decoy launchers, this ship had no defenses whatsoever. Yeah, this is very much a glass cannon, but a very fun one. we are now at over 400,000 materials, and as you can see, I've also chosen a name for this one. This is what I call the Rampart, going with the Onyx watch naming theme here. So, to answer a few questions, is it effective? No, absolutely not. This is not very cost effective. This is why I probably put it in the medium design category. And it is, however, it is quite fun. Quite fun to see and quite fun to fight with. Alright, I think I have talked enough, and after this whole building process I need a bit of fun. Not that building isn't fun, it just isn't quite as fun as blowing stuff up in from the depths. You have to be honest to admit that, I guess. Right then, what should we blow up first? Well, this thing here is supposed to engage any flying opponents, so I think we'll go through a few Deepwater Guard air units, and then maybe we will even engage some Onyx Watch air units, and some ships, to see how this one does. For our first test, I have chosen 4 Felix Flieger Geier bomber, that's a long name, from the Deepwater Guard to attack us. Right then, here we go. Oh, by the way, I should probably mention that this cram cannon turret there is time fused as well. Because, you know, anti-aircraft duties and so on. Alright, putting a lot of shells in the air, and this is pretty much the main theme of this vessel. Just spamming APS rounds like there's no tomorrow. And we already got our first victim here. Yep, this one has pretty much been dealt with. There comes the cram cannon. Good hit. And as you can see, the Rampart is actually capable of engaging foes all around it. No matter where the aircraft are, there is always at least one gun pointing at it. Save for those ballistas, to be fair. They usually get blown up a few seconds after the fight has started. As I mentioned before, they are quite the meme. So, these vessels have been defeated, then how about something else? Continuing with the carrier trend, now we have a Barracuda in the air, equipped with a lot more fighters than the Murray, not the Murray, the Tortuga, and it's also an airship itself. Right then, all guns, open fire. Not that we are short on guns, mind you. I should probably fix the ballistas at some point, they tend to get stuck. I may have to restrict their field of fire just a little bit. Right then, on main guns, yep, there we go. Say goodbye to those mean weapons, they have been blown up. Now we're getting pelted from all sides here. The bombers are making their pass. Did we get a few? Apparently we did. A few hits, and these bombers, mostly made out of wood and a little bit of metal, will fall apart quite easily. Let's take a little bit of a higher stance here. Nice. Yeah, see, now that the Barracuda has touched down on the water, the mortars are opening fire because they see now that there is a unit that is at sea level and quite stationary. You got knackered quite badly there, and there we go. Gone. Yeah, they missed again. And one salvo is out. As you can see, you might be asking now, well, if those ballistas get blown up rather easily, why even mount them on there? Well, I don't have a satisfying answer for that, other than just because I want to. Right then, the The skies are clear, the guns are silent. Looks like our enemy has been defeated. Nicely done so far. Next up is a much more dangerous opponent. The Deepwater God Moray. Okay, this should be rather easy. So now, these smaller caliber anti-aircraft guns should focus on intercepting cram shells. There go the ballistas. And the larger ones should focus on the Moray all the time. Nice. So, to be fair, since they are firing a combined yield of flak and frag, these smaller caliber anti-aircraft guns there, they are not quite as effective at intercepting shells and missiles. Which is the compromise I had to make when I wanted to have them pull double duty, basically. Okay, did we get it? No, not yet. How's the Moray doing? Well, so far, I'd say it has seen better days. It's still raining down cannon fire, but as you can see here, yeah, we are answering with quite a lot of fire on our own. This is a constant stream of fragmentation, hash and flak shells. Wonderful. The Moray has been defeated with minor damage on our part. I can live with that. These ballistas are less of a weapon and more like very high explosive decoration, to be fair. Next opponent, please. So, the second to last opponent for today will be a parapet. Or maybe the third to last opponent. I have two more to defeat. Right then, a parapet. Very dangerous, does the same as the Basilica does, but better. It is equipped with a HE lobbing aerial mortar that pelts you from above as it hovers above your ship. Very dangerous indeed. Now we are opening up, of course, with all our available guns, and we have already taken out that dreaded mortar here, which is sitting on the bottom of the parapet. Intercepting cram shells, very nice. A very unique looking design, I think. Very nice. Quite worlds apart from the very angry bathtub that I have created. Oh, there we go, intercepted. Very nice. By the way, the interception of shells and missiles takes priority over any anti-aircraft duties for those guns. I can see the bottom of a hole. And a lot of block confetti falling down from the sky. This is what I like to see. The Rampart chewing up enemy aircraft, while being very careful not to take a critical hit to its many weak points. Oh, did we get it? The parapet is losing altitude. Or is it still? No, it seems to be compensating for the loss in altitude. Are you going to run aground? Yeah, just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. The floating castle has now become a castle. Yeah, and there we go. Mortars should finish up whatever is left of the parapet here. Floating there. Actually, no, never mind. The parapet has been defeated. Right, this... Yeah, maybe I have to do something about this tendency to run aground of these ships. Oh, basically, what I wanted to show you, there is no stabilization or upwards propeller of any kind on this one. Not at all. It is perfectly stable and seaworthy with just using air pumps and a little bit of alloy for buoyancy. Okay, this is going to be a little bit different. I have spawned a trebuchet. Not the opponent that this ship was designed to face, but I was curious how it'll do against this foe. Yeah, by the way, there is nothing we can do about those torpedoes. The Seals will not target them, and we do not have any sonar decoys. Though we have taken out at least one of its guns. Gun barrels. And there goes the second one. Yeah, if only our mortars would land a critical hit, that would be rather nice. Yeah, rather nice, wouldn't it? Damn it, they all missed. Yeah, cram mortars are not exactly reliable. That is just a fact, not reliable at all. But if they hit, they do quite a number on the opponent. We have taken out one turret, okay. Can we do a little bit more damage with our weaponry here? Speaking of damage, this looks like an engine. It shouldn't be exposed to the elements. Continue. Right, we are pretty much relying on our HESH and mortar weaponry here to do any significant damage. Once again, good hit on the turret. Since the rest of our weaponry basically is this single cram cannon there, that whose shells probably get intercepted by the lamps, and our flak and frag guns, which are well, not really that suited to engage any armored opponent. Mortar incoming! Nice, nice. Good hit. Very good hit. We have taken out the trebuchet's main weaponry. Well, would you look at that? I don't consider these cram cannons here the main weaponry, to be fair. Well now, looks like we just have to finish it off. It still has those torpedoes, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it does. And we've done it. We have defeated the trebuchet. I can't believe it. I just managed to launch 2 more torpedoes before it expired. However, we have defeated the trebuchet. That is significantly more expensive than the Rampart. I just wanted to mention that. And yeah, no shields, no lamps. And still floating. The dedicated anti-aircraft ship, everyone. I like it. And there we go. I have added the paint and I have added some lights to it. I've not added any decorative elements other than that just yet. I'll do this later off camera probably. So yeah, there it is. The combat-capable Rampart. Finished for now. Also, these little doors you see here lead to a fully walkable interior, by the way. Yeah, indeed. Even these little details. Now, it may be fully walkable, but there's not much in there other than helium pumps. Yeah. Nevertheless, I hope you have enjoyed this little construction episode, and when we'll next meet, I'll probably have constructed the very little ship that carries only this huge ballista and then we'll start on our amphibious assault ship. Anyway, I am the Heizmeister saying goodbye from the Associates of Nita, and I hope I'll see you next time. Take care, and until then.